Here is a 2023 BMW X3M competition in black sapphire metallic over black Milano extended leather. What is so unique about this vehicle is you're getting the internal components from an M3 sedan and an M4 coupe in an SUV with the weight distribution at 50.1, 49.9, which is almost perfect. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and adding the competition package increases horsepower by 30, increases torque by 37. You already have the sleek style. It's going to be a low profile sit with a wide fascia, and it keeps a similar look to the X5 and X7 because it's still box structured LED headlights and daytime runnings. The kidney grille gloss black over everything. In the lower, it's all opened up because underneath the hood is not going to be the B46. It's the S68 inline 6-cylinder twin turbo. 3.0 liter producing 503 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60 around 3.9 seconds, achieving 15 mpgs for the city and 20 mpgs for the highway. Standard M will get a 20-inch wheel. This is the competition. We're not playing around. 21-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels. Black brake calipers housing 4 pistons, 2-piece rotor that's cut and ventilated for performance, because whether you like it or not, when you're at a near perfect 50-50 weight distribution, this is a SUV, or like BMW says, SAV. But this is getting so low in the 0 to 60s and quarter miles that this is a track-worthy vehicle in an everyday SUV blended in. And comparable rivals, an Audi SQ5, 154 horsepower less than this. Porsche Macan, 80 horsepower less than this. The new Mercedes GLE 53, 75 horsepower less than this, and all of them get less in the 0 to 60s. And they're not going to be as dynamic as this. Adaptive M-tuned suspension and limited slip differential with M-tuned xDrive. So it's going to have 100% of the power distributed to the rear wheels when you're pushing full throttle. LED taillights, the lower, keeps that aggressive box element with quad exhaust tips, gloss black, and in the center you get the grille pattern. The lower roof spoiler is just going to help with downforce because this is one of the most athletic and aerodynamic blended vehicles. That's how you're getting such good dynamics with towing up to 4,400 pounds and a max payload at 840 pounds. Power liftgate going into 28.7 cubic feet. 12-volt charger. It extends out on both sides underneath the floor, gets a spare tire, split fold the rear bench at a 40-20-40 split, and that will increase cargo to 62.7 cubic feet. This is an inline twin turbo. Competition adds more horsepower. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Way power seat adjustment, heated, ventilated, memory for the front occupants, M badging in the headliner, manual cushion extensions for the front occupants. Headroom is not going to be an issue for tall people. Leg space is also very good for the front occupants. X3M competition badging starts with the gloss black. Dual climate control settings in the front, 12.3 infotainment screen with gesture, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM streaming, Bluetooth audio, the M menu, which will configure for M1 and M2 on the paddle shifters. Gloss black elements will be surrounding the air vents in the center and a matte black on both of the sides. Heads-up display, 12.3 digital gauge cluster for the driver. Push the BC button and you can go through an array of information for the driver. When you change the modes, it will also make it more aggressive. Leather wrap 3-spoke steering wheel with the M badging. It's heated, multi-function, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. That's the M1 and M2 paddle shifters that's in front of your standard paddle shifters. Opening up to a wireless charging pad. Underneath that, we have BMW digital key and the key fob for the X3M competition. Gloss black will be surrounding the xdrive. Leather wrap with the M badging on the gear lever. It's going to be more sport drive, opening up, and it's a pretty deep storage pocket. And you got a little area here that you can fit some business cards with a USB port. Harman Kardon starts off on the door panel with the ambient lighting, the gloss black, and it's going to be more sporty, which you would expect. One touch up and down for all the windows. Storage pocket. It's a couple of beverage holders carved out and a long pano moonroof that covers all the way to the back seats with a edgeless auto-dimming rear view mirror. For the back seats, you can recline them, and that's what I've done. So that way I have even more headroom, as you're noticing. But even with them folded regularly, I still have no issue. That's why the X4M competition will have a little bit less. This is more traditional. Leg space, you're going to be fine if you're tall. Third climate control setting, USB ports, heated rear seats, air vents, no storage behind any of the front seats. The door panel starts off with a manual sunshade. Ambient lighting, gloss black, same materials that's in the front come into the back. 2 beverage holders carved out. The floor is not completely flat, so let's slide over. The rails are pushed up enough, so feet space will not necessarily be an issue. Butt and shoulder space will be shared. But headroom, because this is traditional, you have a sufficient amount. 503 horsepower. This thing is a beast, and look what you get. The conclusion up to 60, quicker than any of the competition, with better dynamics, and this is an SUV. It's still a family SUV. That's what I really am impressed about with BMW, because I mean, as I'm talking, you're thinking, oh, he's just doing a roundabout. No, I'm actually going pretty quick on the roundabout. That's why my cameras are moving around, just to show you, look. It's almost a track-ready vehicle. You don't really have to do too much more, and you could take this to the track because of the performance that comes out of it. I mean, it is insane, the package that you're getting when you go competition. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons, and starting off with is the pros. It is the best in class when you're talking about performance and luxury blended. It's not over the top, it's just enough, and you can fit a family in the vehicle to enjoy the suspense. Some other nice things is it still has cargo and storage in all of the door pockets, which when you start getting into vehicles that have this much performance, you typically don't even have the ability to put a 20-ounce bottle anywhere because everything's so small. That's not the case here. Now, I know it probably sounds like I'm liking the car. It is one of my favorite variants because when you're considering the price and the performance, you'd have to go up to a Mercedes GLE AMG 63, and that car has over 600 horsepower, and it's still going to be basically the same performance as this. So that's why I mean, it is just the sweet spot. That's going to take me to some cons. Where the wireless charging pad is, when you're doing performance, your phone will just fly out unless you're using the cup holders, and there's a 12-volt charger there, which if you spill something doing that performance, you know what's going to happen. Some other disadvantages or cons would be the seats are a lot more firm than a lot of the competition. The Mercedes is going to be a little bit more soft. This is very athletic. Adding the 21-inch wheels also gives it more of a firm drive, but you can soften it up for a daily use if you put it into comfort. It does take a little bit of time to get used to the seat bolstering, but you have plenty of seat adjustments, and they're ventilated seats. So when it's over 100 degrees in Florida like it is today, it's still a cool seat. Some other cons, because it's so much performance, you're gonna get a lot of tickets. So you're gonna have to really utilize your adaptive cruise control. Otherwise, you're gonna be pulled over by these sheriffs that's all over the place. And then you have the gloss black elements that's pretty much everywhere. And what happens is fingerprints pretty much go all over the place. It would be nice to have something that kind of comes over the gloss black, so that way when you're pushing the button, you don't see the finger smudge all over so much. And where some of the buttons are located, because of the way the windscreen is, it also reflects onto the rear view mirror, so at times it can not necessarily blind you, but it just gives you an eyesore whenever you're driving. It's more of a box structure, which I like how they've incorporated that for all of the X lines, because it just makes it easier for somebody purchasing a vehicle. If you want a little bit more power, you go to the X5M competition, and then you're getting 617. If you want third row, you go to the X7. Turn radius is going to receive right at 2 lanes. And one thing to note, this is the only vehicle in its class that gets under 0 to 60 4 seconds. You have to go up the tier to over $100,000 in order to get the same performance numbers, in which obviously you're gonna have more HP. That's why, I mean, this is the blend of both worlds. Daily use and performance when you need it to liven up. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2023 BMW X3M competition for our car review.